Winning gunfights is a lot easier than you think. Improving your fundamentals and implementing some of the following tips will dramatically improve your chances to win gunfights. Watch the video, implement the tips, and let me know if I'm wrong. Here are 13 tips that will help you to win more gunfights. I won't waste your time, so each tip will have a timestamp if you're looking for something specific, but let's start with the fundamentals. Tip 1. Warm up. Take 5 minutes and hit the practice range, as this will get you ready for the battlefield. As a part-time gamer, we're usually not as sharp already, so we may as well try and balance the playing field by doing some reps before we hit the field. Tip 2 and 3 come together. Guns at the ready and crosshair placement. It's very obvious to have your gun out, but it's impossible to win a gunfight without a gun. On the battlefield, there are many means to eliminate the enemy, but a gun is a very useful one. And plus, there's nothing worse than giving away a free kill. Centering and crosshair placement can give you a massive advantage, especially given the fast time to kill in Battlefield 6. If you think of your crosshair as your eyes, you wouldn't run around a corner looking at the ground. Battlefield 6 rewards positioning with better recoil control from mounted weapons, being crouched or prone, versus penalties for sprinting or shooting on the move. Therefore, cover gives you the upper hand as it allows you the option to reposition, block line of sight, hide, or even take the bullets that were meant for you. Being aware of line of sight and having a shield is advantageous to winning your gunfights. It's important to note, not all cover is made equally, especially in Battlefield. But if you can be tactically positioned behind solid cover in a head glitch, this is the equivalent of a suit of armour in the days of nights. As you become such a small target and at medium to long ranges, this makes it extremely difficult to hit you. Tip 5. Movement. Strafe, jump, or at least crouch once as you shoot. Bloom is an issue in Battlefield, and although there is a movement penalty in Battlefield 6, I believe is a good trade-off versus death. You don't want to overdo it with jumping around into prone, but a simple strafe or crouch spam make it more difficult to hit you, and you can use this to your advantage to win the gunfight. And this is a live example of strafing in action. You know, the enemies are about mid-range here. You can kind of see I'm strafing left and right, and it helps me win the first gunfight. The second one's a bit more tricky because he's on a head glitch, a favourable fight for him. But with a little bit of movement and pinpoint accuracy, we're able to take him out. Tip 6. Isolate gunfights. The time to kill in Battlefield is fast, so it's extremely difficult to take on 2, 3 or even 4 enemies when they know about you. So you need to isolate your gunfights by utilising movement, using throwables, or even leaving the fight to come back in a better position to increase your chances of winning the gunfight. So tip 7. Avoid fair fights. There's no better feeling than mowing down a number of unsuspected enemies, and to achieve this we want to avoid fair fights. Taking a sniper to the corridors with shotguns and SMGs is a recipe for disaster. So how do we avoid fair fights? Using your weapon for its sole purpose, such as a shotgun to hold the choke point. By holding angles from cover, using grenades to move or block enemies' line of sight, gadgets for intel to tip the odds in your favour, or whatever idea you conjure up. It's Battlefield, so anything is possible. And to avoid an unfair fight, if the enemy sees you first, you need to move, whether it's behind cover or get out of there. There's no point getting killed because you think your ego would be bruised. Tip 8. Knowing your weapon. Following on from how to avoid fair fights, you need to know your weapon, and I'm not talking about its name, its strengths and weaknesses. And if you aren't going to bed with the mantra, "This is my rifle, and I'm nothing without my rifle," you probably don't know it well enough. More importantly, what is the recoil pattern, rate of fire, damage, time to kill? These are all important questions that you need to know or at least understand. And this can be simplified greatly. For example, the rate of fire of the M4A1 is 900. That means it shoots faster than most weapons in the game, so you know you can take the close quarter battles when needed. Knowing your weapon allows you to make better decisions such as rotations between capture points, as well as knowing when to reload or advance further. Tip 9. Knowledge is power. Use the information at your disposal to make more informed decisions, such as the map highlighting nearby enemies or vehicles, callouts from teammates, capture points or voice quips from enemies to give you the edge. If you use the information, this can benefit you greatly, as this pinpoints exactly where the enemy is and prepares you for the easy kill.
Here we have two examples, one good, one bad. In the first example, as you can see, I clearly ignore the minimap. Despite it showing 4 or 5 enemies, I decide to peek anyway, and I ultimately die. In the second clip, I use the minimap to see that there's an enemy moving, so when I go round the corner I expect him to be there, and he's eliminated quickly.
Bonus tips. Tip 10. Use your gadgets. Gadgets and grenades aren't talked about enough when it comes to winning gunfights. Whether it's grenades to push out enemies, smoke to block line of sight, claymores to trap enemies, or tugs to gain intel, grenades and gadgets increase your chances of winning gunfights exponentially when used correctly.
In this clip, when I walk onto the point, it's a 2v1 and they're both camped in the corner. So I used a grenade to push them out to give me the advantage. See what happens next. In this clip, I utilised smoke to block line of sight so I can revive 3 of our teammates and then apply some suppressive fire so they can get away.
Tip 11. Trigger discipline. Waiting for the right moment, knowing when not to fire, is just as important as firing. Trigger discipline can turn guaranteed death into a squad wipe by just waiting a few seconds, especially if you're behind cover with awareness of line of sight. Passing up on the easy kill can level up your ability to erase larger swarms of the enemy by practicing patience. Tip 12. Don't reload constantly. Don't reload constantly. It can slow you down and it's not always necessary. Knowing the weapon you're using helps, such as the AK-40 can kill in 3 shots under 20 meters. If I'm approaching a single enemy with say 10 bullets and reloading has a time penalty of over 2 seconds, which is more than enough time to die, the better option is to advance and I should be able to take them out with what's left in the magazine. On the other hand, if I'm using a KV-9 with 1 bullet left in the chamber, it's best to put on the brakes and reload the sucker before going again.
Tip 13. Timing.
I don't think this is talked about often enough. Taking a few seconds between shooting, going into cover and coming back can win you more gunfights than you can imagine. Typically, if you have the advantage, you shoot, go into cover, and the enemy will return fire and maybe look for you before advancing, reloading or reviving. By waiting a few more seconds, you're outside the natural rhythm of a gunfight, which can lure the enemy into a false sense of security, and you can catch them with their pants down more often than not. These tips are helpful and will improve your ability to win gunfights over time, but it will take a lot of practice and focus during gaming sessions to improve. I hope you enjoyed the video. If I have missed anything, don't be afraid to leave a comment below and subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield.